Hey line walkers, this is Jamie from IToldYouIWasSick.com and I have a brand new video for you today. This one is in the Autistic series. This is video number 18, if you can believe that. And yes, my hair is shorter. In case you were wondering why I looked different, I have cut a lot of hair off my head and I am also going to be dyeing it soon. So look for that. Let's see here. Why autistic people do that. Video 18. This is probably one of the more difficult topics for me to talk about because it was a very difficult lesson for me to learn. And while I've learned it, I still have trouble with it. So the title of this video is Connection and Closeness Do Not Equal Correctness. So let me explain. I was in a relationship a long time ago, and I was with someone whose brother had a drinking problem and had been abusive with her in the past, the person I was in a relationship with. And because of this, there was a lot of tension between them all the time. And they were having some sort of argument. I can't remember about what. It could have been anything. But her brother was right. In this one instance, her brother was completely right and completely valid. And I said as much. If you're neurotypical, you're probably cringing. If you're autistic, and you might be cringing too. If you're anywhere on the spectrum, there's just cringe. Because the response that I got was as though I had taken a knife and stabbed my partner in the eye. She didn't say anything during the argument. But after we were alone, she was like, she couldn't believe how I would take his side. And I was baffled. I'm like, I'm not taking his side. It's just that he was correct in this one instance. But for her, me saying that he was correct in one instance about the argument they were having about that specific topic, that was interpreted to her to mean that I was on her brother's side and I was her brother's advocate. And I was also okay with the fact that he had been abusive to her previously and that he had a drinking problem, and I was just on this man's side, which wasn't true at all. So what I have begun to understand among people who are not autistic is that it is socially expected that if two people are in an argument, that the person you are closest to is the person that you side with. It doesn't matter if that person, let's say person A and person B are having an argument, but you're in a relationship with person B, you must always agree with person B, at least publicly. Now, later on, maybe when you go off somewhere and you're together, you're alone, you can say, maybe he kind of had a point. But you never want to publicly, even if it's just among the three of you, say, oh, I agree with that person, because person A is not your partner, person B is your partner. The same goes with like a really close friend or a family member or something like that. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with this. I don't usually do relationships, long-term relationships. I've had very bad experiences, and a lot of it has to do with me being autistic and not understanding the basics and having to learn them as I go along and usually failing horribly. So that's something that is very difficult for me because it comes across, or at least it did come across, as though I didn't care about the person I was with, and that's not true. I was just being logical. And there was nothing in me that said, hey, you shouldn't do that. You should just say, yes, I agree with this person because this person's my partner or this person's my family member. I think it also depends on dynamics. I think that, especially if, person A has threatened person B and you're in a relationship with person B, I can understand logically why that would be difficult for the person to hear. It's like, well, why are you taking their side? I get it. I do understand it now, but it doesn't come naturally for me. So I think that if you're in a relationship with someone like family or whatever, and you're really close with that person, and then another person that you really don't know very well, but you've seen them, you may even live in the same house with them, voices an opinion, and they are somebody that has been cruel to the person in the past, and you're like, oh, yeah, you're right, I agree with you. It can be seen as like you're putting the person you're with down, or that you don't care, or that you are siding with the enemy, so to speak. I've experienced that a lot in my life. I think that I also could have titled this, if you're not for me, you're against me, because on another side of this, I have also experienced, this is hard for me to talk about. I have experienced issues with a family member who I'm no longer in contact with, where this person would get upset with me if I tried to be logical about an incident that happened between her and someone else. And this was somebody that she saw as the enemy. And since she saw her as the enemy, if I even said the smallest thing about, well, maybe she could have a point about this, you would have thought that I had taken out a sword and was going to go through the whole family. It was not okay. It was just not okay for me to say that this person who has caused trouble, and this person, everybody's caused trouble, there's been a lot of drama, and I'm trying to be neutral and say, well, this is what's best for this person, and this is what's best for this person, and this is what I understand, and it's as though I'm growing a second head. This person, this family member is staring at me like, what is wrong with you? And again, I don't have anything to do with that family member anymore for various reasons, but I still have a lot of trouble understanding that concept. If you're not for me, you are against me. No. I'm for the truth. I'm for the bigger picture. I'm for logic. If someone was coming at a loved one with a hatchet, I would try to stop them. I don't really choose sides. The only time I do that maybe is if a child is involved. I will always side with the child. I don't care what the adults are doing. I will side with the child because the child is the most important and the child is the most vulnerable. But again, I am definitely not trying to be uppity or above it all or anything like that. I am just trying to be logical. So if you are on the spectrum and you have had this happen to you, or you've experienced this and you've just been like you got a cold smack of water in the face when you get a response because it's not a good one, comment down below, let me know what happened. And if you are not autistic and you have experienced maybe somebody responding in this way and you know that they're on the spectrum or you suspect they're on the spectrum, let me know how you've handled it and how you've seen it. And if this video helped you at all to understand why an autistic person might behave this way. So I am going to my 8-minute mark, so I'm going to stop. But yes, let me know what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Otherwise, just like, share, and comment if you're on Facebook. And I will post a link to all of the videos down below so you can check them out. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.